What's up, guys? Just waking up and it's early in the morning, but I wanted to shoot a quick video and talk about one of my favorite training principles of all time. And it's not overload, it's actually periodization. It's something that some climbers do naturally, and maybe they're aware, most seem to be unaware of it. My example here is the boulderers who's early spring or late fall, they're bouldering. Then as the seasons change, let's say from a cold spring into a hot summer, they might transition from bouldering into rope climbing because the holds might seem or feel more positive to them or have a higher probability of success versus micro crimping on a boulder in a hot, sweaty summer. Just doesn't seem fun to them. So there might be an implied natural cycle of periodization. So what is this? What am I talking about? Periodization is when we take sections of time, anywhere from 3 weeks to up to 6 weeks, and we chunk down our focus, or what the emphasized focus of our fitness is. So let's say we were to take 4 weeks of base fitness, endurance-based training. And no matter how tempting it is at the gym or the crag, we got to stick to that endurance cycle. So high volume, moderate intensity, everything from how we're lifting the weights and using our resistance training to how we're climbing or what we're climbing. And then we're going to move into, say, a strength phase after that, after base fitness. So strength would look like lat hangboarding, maybe 4x4s, things of that nature. And what we're doing is we're developing max loads, right? Max effort. And then from there, let's say we do that for 3 weeks or so, trying to get a physiological response. Then we're going to move into like a power endurance phase where we're not going to do 4x4s. We're going to be doing linked boulders. You know, we want a greater time under tension, whereas like a 4x4 is basically an EMOM. It's every minute on the minute. We're going to be doing a climb. So if you knock out a boulder in this training set, and you do it in 30 seconds, you get a 30-second rest before you have to jump on another boulder. You're allowing your body a significant amount of rest time from a training standpoint, and we're losing time under tension. So in a phase like power endurance, where we want to cycle through as much time under tension as possible, linking a boulder where you're climbing a boulder, you get to the top, and then you just do whatever you need to do to get to the start of another boulder, never getting off the wall, and then starting that climb all over again. And you do that for, let's say, 4 boulders in a row, never get off the wall. And you want to be as close to failure as possible without actually failing, falling off the wall, and thereby completing that cycle of a linked boulder. Way more of a physiological response for power endurance with that than a 4x4, where every 30 seconds you're coming off the wall, you're standing on your legs, you're not hanging off your arms, you're taking a huge rest. We're not going to get the same physiological response, so we're not going to get the same desired outcome. And then moving on to something like, say, power, where we're going to be doing basically finger plyometrics, if you will. We're going to be doing lots of campus boarding, limit bouldering, where we're doing anywhere from 1 to 3 moves max, maybe 4 moves. If you're completing 4 to 5, 6 moves, or you're sending boulders in a limit bouldering training modality, you're not doing it right. So limit bouldering, we are maxing out anywhere from 1 to 3 moves. If you happen to complete a boulder during a limit boulder cycle, great, it's a wonderful byproduct, not the goal. The goal is to maximize the amount of effort in a minimal amount of moves. And then after that, we're basically reaching a peak performance period. And, looking at this as a whole, you're almost looking at it like quarters of a year, right? We're looking at something that's going to be like a 10-week cycle, 16-week cycle. And we're doing these blocks where the training modality is very specific. The training is all focused around that single modality of endurance, strength, power, endurance, and then hitting a peak performance period, and timing that out before we get on the plane and go to our desired location, before we're going to go out and work on our project for the season. So it's really looking at like an annual calendar, looking at like a whole year, being like, when is my trip? Where am I going? How am I getting there? Am I driving a car across the country? Am I getting on a flight and going overseas? What's the time frame on that? Having like a 7 to 14 day rest period isn't going to set you back super, super huge. And then there's also ways where we can kind of keep up that peak performance period for a couple of weeks so that that trip or that period of time we're going to be working on our project is optimized. And I don't see a lot of the climbing community doing this, and I think it's really, really important to set ourselves up for success. So I hope this video helped. If it did, let me know what you think, guys, in the comments. Again, just a quick little early morning video I wanted to put out, and cheers. I hope this helps. Train hard, send hard.